So what do you think? Does the order of the exercises that you perform in your workouts make a difference when it comes to your muscle growth? In this video, we're going to take a look at what the research reveals, as well as taking a look at what the real world evidence shows. Now, to give you an example here, let's say that you're always performing an upper-lower split. And every upper body workout that you perform, you begin with a dumbbell bench press, and you always finish off with a neutral grip pull down. Would you expect that your chest would grow more than your back muscles here? Well, according to the research, no. They would both grow equally the same. Now, in 2020, this meta-analysis was done where they looked at 7 different studies, and what they found was that exercise order did have an impact on strength gains. So the exercises that were performed first in the workout experienced greater strength gains over the time of the studies compared to the exercises that were performed later in the workout there, which is kind of interesting because those same studies found that muscle growth wasn't impacted by the order of the exercises there. So what's surprising about that is that progressive overload is a big factor when it comes to muscle growth, and progressive resistance is one of those aspects of progressive overload. So if you're able to get stronger with certain exercises, certain movements, you would expect those muscles to grow more than the ones that aren't getting stronger. So you would expect that the exercises done earlier in the workout should experience more muscle growth because you're able to get stronger in those movements. But according to this meta-analysis, that's not the case. Now, as I say in every single video where I talk about research, take research with a grain of salt. You're just kind of using it to guide your decision-making process here, but not putting all your eggs in one basket here. Just as the authors of this meta-analysis stated there are so many limitations to each of these individual studies, the 7 studies in that meta-analysis, and more research is needed. And that is something that most people just ignore when it comes to that the authors of all these studies, every study that's published, states that there's limitations to these studies and that more research is needed. Yet a lot of people will take a study and like, that is gospel, this is what you need to be doing in your workout. And that is not the case. Now, when we look in the real world experiences here, you probably heard a lot of coaches share that if you have a lagging body part, one of the best things you can do is follow the priority principle, where you perform that lagging body part first in a workout. I know I can't tell you how many times I've heard a coach say that if you have stubborn calves, do them first in your workout. Now, for myself personally, I have done that countless times, trying to grow my calves. They're one of my most stubborn body parts to grow. They've come a long way. But although it was great, like I had more mental focus and more energy to give to my calves, it really didn't help them grow all that much. And then I look at my chest, which I'd say most of the time is going to be placed first in a workout. If it's an upper body workout or a push-pull leg split, anything along those lines there, I oftentimes will begin with a chest movement there. Yet my chest is another one of my lagging body parts. I'd say chest and calves are my 2 weakest points there. Yet my arms, I've never placed them at the beginning of the workout. They're always the last thing I do, and my arms grow pretty much from just looking at them. So there's always a genetic component that's involved. And we can try all these different little tricks. You can try placing it at the beginning of the workout and see if it makes any improvement. But for myself personally, the order of the exercises hasn't made all that much of a difference there. So I'd say my own personal experiences are kind of in alignment when it comes to these studies here, that I haven't noticed the body parts that are placed earlier in the workout grow any faster. Now, with that being said, I think it's a great idea to vary your exercise order. This is something that I first heard from Tom Venuto, author of Burn the Fat, Feed the Muscle here. God, it's probably 2006. He had Bodybuilding Secrets, I think it was his website at the time. He might still have it up there with some of his older articles where he talked about pull-ups. And he's like, when you're training your back, a lot of guys, they'll begin their back workout with pull-ups because it's a difficult movement. And if you do it first in the workout, you're able to do more reps. Whereas you place it later in the workout, you're not going to get nearly as many reps. So which is why I'm like, a guy's not going to want to bust out pull-ups at the end of the workout. I'm like, man, I can hardly get any reps here. I look like a weakling here. But there's benefits to that. Not only do you get to place another movement, maybe a seated row at the beginning of your workout there? That row can grow. You can get stronger in that movement and develop that movement more. But it's just great to challenge your body at different aspects of your training, just different orders of your exercises there, and just see what that experience is like. And I know like a lot of guys will, if you're doing a chest workout, always say that you should begin it with the biggest compound movement, like do a bench press or a chest press, something along those lines, because that's when you're going to have the greatest strength. And then you finish with the isolation exercises. If you start with an isolation exercise, you're not going to be able to perform you're not going to have the same kind of strength with the barbell bench press there. And to me, like, that's okay. Like for a lot of guys, especially guys over 40, what I find is like at times when I'm programming like a cable fly before the bench press there, the cable fly is another great chest building exercise there. It's effective. I would argue just as effective as the bench press there. So if you're doing that first in the workout, now you can get stronger with the cable fly. You're still going to grow your chest, I think, just as much, maybe even more than with the barbell bench press there. But what a lot of guys find is that, yes, although they're not able to lift as much with the barbell bench press, their joints feel a whole lot better when they begin with a cable fly or a machine fly. They just feel better. They got the joints are lubricated from that first movement where you're going a little bit lighter. It's easier on the joints, any kind of fly movement there. They get the blood pumping to the chest. They get a stronger mind-muscle connection when it comes to the bench press afterwards there. So there's benefits to kind of mixing up the order. And then put the bench press or a chest press at the beginning of the workout and progress with that. Try to get some strength going with that. So switching the order of the exercises, you get to get stronger with different movements rather than just always following that same movement and trying to get stronger with that same order over and over and over time. I think variety just plays a great role. And the other thing when it comes to mixing up the order, we had a great conversation, I think it's like 2 years ago in the Lose Fat, Get Jacked Inner Circle, where we're talking about like a push workout. A lot of times when you do a push workout, standard, start with the chest, second is going to be the shoulders, and then you finish with the triceps. And what one of the members of Lose Fat, Get Jacked Inner Circle, Miriam, mentioned was that by the time you get to the triceps, you're just mentally fatigued. Like your body might still feel strong and ready to go, but mentally you're just like, man, it's been 45 to 60 minutes here. Like I'm just ready to be done and over with this. And you don't give the same kind of focused attention and maybe effort as you did earlier in the workout. So if you take some of those, we switched the routine around and we did chest first, tricep second, shoulders last. And hearing the feedback from the group, Lee, Miriam, Jeff, like we're all like, what a difference it makes having the triceps second. You feel a little bit stronger with those. You feel a little bit more mind-muscle connection. You feel more focus, more clarity. You're just able to give more to that body part there. So that's an aspect that you should consider as well. But again, like for myself personally, it's nice to do that, to experience certain exercises early in the workout where you do have more mental focus, you have more energy to give to them. You just have that experience. But again, like I personally haven't noticed a difference in growth whenever I've changed the order. I just find it's a great way to get some variety in there without necessarily changing exercises or changing the split. You just change the order that you're doing the exercises there. It provides enough of variety. It's just a difference that sparks some enthusiasm. You have a different experience with that workout overall, even if it doesn't necessarily contribute to greater muscle growth there. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what your experiences are. If you have played around with that priority principle and you had a lagging body part, you put it earlier in the workout, maybe first in the workout, and you're like, yep, that was the key that got that muscle group to grow. I would love to hear about your experiences in that regard. It wasn't the case for me, but again, the genetic component is involved there. Like if I'm looking at chest and calves, my most stubborn body parts, no matter what kind of trick or secret I apply from all the other coaches out there, like it's still, no matter what, the slowest growing muscle group that I have. And then again, my arms, I could do almost nothing and they're going to grow. Just looking at them, they're going to grow. So there's always that component as well. But I'm really looking forward to hearing your experiences when it comes to the order of your exercise. Do you change things up when it comes to the order of exercises, or do you kind of stick with a similar kind of pattern, a similar kind of routine when it comes to your programming? But again, for myself personally, I think it's an area that we shouldn't necessarily overthink. And stress about, but have fun with it. Just really always, it's really what it comes down. What's going to get you the greatest enjoyment out of your lifting? What's going to allow you to get the most out of these training experiences? If you really enjoy keeping things consistent, then roll with it. If you like switching things up, changing the order from time to time, excellent. It's all fantastic. There's no right or wrong here, but still, it's really great to hear each other's experiences. Learning and growing together, that's what it's all about. That's what this channel is all about. I love learning from you guys, again, because there is no right or wrong, but it oftentimes sparks that curiosity. Maybe I will give that a try if it worked for you. Good old bro science. Again, I like it. I like bro science more than some of the real science that we're seeing out there. Like I said earlier, because it's just so many limitations when it comes to that. Still benefits to it. It gives us some food for thought, but I certainly don't take any of it to heart.